the Crab and Winkle
Way in Kent. Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, 5 reasons why bikes might be about to take over the world. We've got great news stories from France, from Italy, and from Azerbaijan, among others.
We've also got some cycling-specific speakers, why e-scooters aren't so good, and how many hours a week you need to do to be a pro cyclist. This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that Tadej KOMs is already hitting some form.
That's right. Last week, he set a new KOM on the famous Cofidis 2.0 killer climb top segment, which is in the Calpe region of Spain. And he averaged, wait for it, 23.5 kilometers an hour for 10 Ks at 6.6% average gradient. But even more impressive than that was the fact that he rode past the amazing cafe that's at the top of the normal Cofidis before taking on 3 kilometers of super steep and very bumpy tarmac to a dead end.
Well, that's what it takes to be a Tour de France champion, Si.
I guess it does.
Unfortunately, another one of the world's best cyclists, Mathieu van der Poel, is sidelined from racing as he's got a reoccurring back injury, which obviously has nothing to do with him trying to avoid playing ping pong with you, Si, at the Zwift Academy.
Nope, not guilty. Although he did agree to go drinking with Dan at the bar one night, and things have taken a downhill turn since then. No, in all seriousness, I'm gutted that he's not going to be racing the rest of the cyclocross season, but fingers crossed he will be back in time for the road season. Now, sticking with Zwift for a moment, their iconic Tron bike could be about to become a real thing. Zwift hardware is on its way, and some sneaky photos emerged last week with this, their first indoor trainer, the Zwift wheel, and this, the Zwift bike. Kind of cool, isn't it?
Very nice. And finally this week, we learned that a new law passed in France will make it obligatory for car companies to promote greener ways of transport, such as walking or cycling, when advertising their vehicles.
It's interesting, this, isn't it? So the legislation, which will come into force in March, will be a little bit like drink responsibly or gamble responsibly type adverts, which come under, well, drinking and gambling adverts. And we think that this is the first type of legislation of its kind anywhere in the world.
And you have to say, it is a really encouraging step in the right direction, and one of many that France have made. Whether we'll see other countries following suit, we'll see, but hopefully we'll see it internationally soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Have you ever noticed that in car commercials, there are no cars? Apart from the car they're advertising, there's no traffic. Cities are deserted.
No, I haven't noticed that, actually.
They should just make traffic jams a thing in car adverts.
That'll get people walking and cycling, won't it?
Absolutely it would. Now, it should be a sign of things to come in France, shouldn't it? If, well, obviously it's a sign of things to come in France, but do you know what I mean? There's other things happening too. So particularly Paris, actually, during the pandemic, was very forward-thinking when it came to promoting cycling. And news just in is that they're actually going to make 52 kilometres of temporary bike lanes permanent, which is cool, isn't it?
That's good. And that's not all. There's an extra 250 million euros being used to create an extra 130 kilometres of cycle lanes, as well as 130,000 new bike parking spaces for bikes, as well as teaching all elementary school children how to ride a bike.
How cool is that? Amazing. And it's not just France, though. Italy too, getting in on the act. In Milan particularly, their very ambitious Milan Cambio project, which although takes place over a longer time span, is hoping to make every person and every major service within a kilometre of segregated bike paths by building 750 kilometres of bike lanes. How cool is that?
The first one will be finished this year, but it is more of a long-term project, and hopefully it'll all be finished by 2035. Anyway, meanwhile, here in the UK, Glasgow is getting in on the act as well. And last October, they unveiled a city-wide active travel plan.
They did, a plan that includes 270 kilometres of bike paths and also improved walkways as well. Basically, similarly to Milan, the aim is to have every school there within 400 metres of a bike lane and every home within 800 metres of a segregated bike path.
That's cool. The ultimate aim is that active travel becomes the first choice for everyday journeys, according to a press release in glasgow.org.uk.
Yeah, moving away from Europe, India, which is a country that's got crippling air pollution problems, apparently kill 1.6 million people a year.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, well, I know, isn't it just? Anyway, they are making strides to move back towards the bike. Again, we should probably say. So the government there launched an initiative in 2020 that encouraged cities to bid for funding to help promote active transport, particularly cycling, because of the crippling air pollution problems, but also at that point in time, the problems caused by COVID-19 and transport.
There's also reports that Azerbaijan are building a brand new bike lane in the capital city of Baku.
Well, there you go then. Some major cities and indeed countries that are moving away from the current climate where motor vehicles are seen as their only choice for getting around. It's definitely early days for sure, but hopefully it's a sign that local authorities are beginning to change and promote active transport, and that ultimately is going to change public behaviour too.
So, are we about to see bikes taking over the world, or are we just getting a little bit too excited about the potential prospect?
Probably a little bit overexcited, but reasons to be optimistic, I think. The main stumbling block, as I see it, is this very vocal minority of people that still somehow see cars as the future of transport and their God-given right to drive around in them. And I just think that local authorities and governments are going to need a thick skin as well as strengthen their convictions to keep this momentum going. But fingers crossed.
Well, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and if you've seen any change in your local area.
GCN Inspiration now, that part of the show where we pick out our 3 favourite photos that you've been uploading to the GCN app over the past week, all of which win a prize, starting with 3rd place, Manon.
So 3rd place this week wins a GCN Great Coll baseball cap. Nice. And this one is in from Doshi. A wee detour on the Treveg Road Isle of Skye. Out for a wee cycle, hit the gravel just for the view.
Haha, nice. Good light, isn't it?
It's very nice.
That does look good. Does it bring back painful memories of your trip to the west coast of Scotland, Manon?
It does actually, although it did stay dry for most of the time.
Did it? Didn't look like it.
At least it wasn't cold, at least it was summer and raining.
It's... Well, anyway, let's move on. 2nd place this week, winning a red baseball cap, as well as an elite stainless steel thermal bottle. That's cool, isn't it? Is this one from Freuda88, training ride on the Virgin River Trail in southern Utah. Look at that. That's insane. Like, it looks like that's a bike path.
I think it is. That looks like such a nice flowy road
Doesn't
to
it
ride
just? On. Yeah, what an awesome photo as well. I just think that's super cool. Your bike's well nice as well. Oh, amazing. Yeah, that definitely makes me want to go out and ride, even though the UK doesn't really look like that.
Our cycle lanes aren't really like that, are they?
No, and our deserts are not very big either.
No.
So anyway, never mind.
And in 1st place, few good prizes this week. A GCN Pursuit green t-shirt, the Cyclist Cookbook, and a GCN water bottle is Deschu. Riding to a small dam in the northern part of Germany. Nice tour following the forest fields and paths.
Nice. A very pleasing photograph, that one.
That is very nice. Looks
pleasing
cold.
to the eye. It does look cold. Also, that bridge looks slippery as you like.
That it does look like a death bridge.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. If you can ride along that without washing out your front wheel and going face first into the pond. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
Very nice.
And that's what GCN Inspiration is all about, isn't it? Life and death moments, like riding across a pond on a wet bridge. But
please don't take any risks when taking these photos.
Sometimes you got to, man. If you want to get a great photo, sometimes you've got to be like hanging off the edge of a cliff.
Please don't.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Anyway, yeah, those are 3 crackers, aren't they?
Good
Fantastic. Week. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, as always, for sending them in. There's loads more for you to check out on the GCN app, and please keep uploading. More prizes next week.
And now it's time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start with the news that Peter Sagan has got himself a brand new World Champions jersey.
Well, he doesn't actually, but this is his look with the French team Total Direct Energies. And what do you think? I have to say, he's managed to design a kit that is very close to being a World Champions kit, but he's not actually a World Champion.
No. He's got like some Slovakian national championship bands on, hasn't he? And a lot of rainbow So, I mean, I guess when you won the world's 3 times on the trot,
Probably
you kind of
deserves
get away
it.
with it. Yeah. His new bike's posh, though. You seen that?
No, I haven't.
Very nice.
I'll have to check it out.
New bike is very cool. And probably, actually, he's done as good a job, at least with his jersey, as Cofidis, who announced an entire squad of Polish national champions.
I quite like their kit this year. I mean, it's a bit more modern than the previous years, but yeah, I see where you're getting at.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Polish national champs kit too, as well, to be fair. Now, we have an annual Hot or Not show on GCN where we go through all of the kits. We want your thoughts as well. So if you head over to the GCN app, you can get voting. You can actually tell us whether they're hot or not, rather than just listening to Dan. Not very fashionable, really.
Down in the description below, we've left a link to the Hot or Not polls where we've got Bora Hansgrohe and Quickstep Alpha Vinyl. And currently, it stands that 78% of you think that the Bora Hansgrohe kit is hot, and 76% of you think that Quickstep is hot.
Quickstep Alpha Vinyl is going to take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't really roll off the tongue that easily.
No, not really. Plenty of big players still to come, though, before we do our Hot or Not video, including perennial favourites Canyon SRAM. So stay tuned for that one.
The other day, Si, I was checking out this website, geekspin.com.
Sure you were, Manon?
No, I was, and I found out that speaker manufacturers, JBL, are launching their dedicated handlebar speakers.
That is cool. Who knew there was such a thing? Dedicated handlebar speakers.
They'd be perfect for you. Just make sure you don't get too emotional with them, like last time.
I mean, that's a fair point, actually.
You're beautiful! It's true! This is how ruined I am. I got tears streaming down my face listening to James Blunt. Crikey!
Some science for you now, and research carried out in Zurich shows that e-scooters and e-bike hire schemes do more harm than good from an environmental perspective.
That's right. It's all there in black and white in the Journal of Transportation Research Part D, which is a classic, Manon. Heck et al. Showed that whilst e-scooters and e-bikes are more environmentally friendly than motor vehicles, what actually happens in the public hire schemes is that they end up replacing even more environmentally friendly modes of transport, like walking, cycling, and public transport, rather than motor vehicles. It's not cool.
In other news, Twitter account VeloFacts has compiled a total list of kilometres ridden by the World Tour pros in 2021. And the top male was actually Richie Porte.
Really?
Some of the stats for you here. He rode a whopping 37,643.3 kilometres last year, including 662,167 metres climbed and over 1,200 hours in the saddle.
Whoa, some total there. Although, if you actually look at pure duration, time spent in the saddle, it's EF's Lachlan Morton who takes the biscuit. 1,400 hours in the saddle, albeit very different. Well, not different hours. An hour is an hour, isn't it? Whether you're on the road or on gravel. But you know what I mean. He did different stuff to Richie Porte.
Interestingly though, taking the stats from the top 100 riders, the average weekly total of riding is 18 hours a week and 580 kilometres. But remember, that includes their holiday, their off-season, their downtime, so 18 hours a week every single week of the year.
Wow.
Quite a lot.
That is a lot, isn't it? In the women's peloton, we actually gave her a shout out for exactly this last season. Annemiek van Vleuten totally crushed it. She rode 30,352 kilometres in 1,120 hours, which is a full 500 kilometres and 200 hours more than second place rider, which was Erika Magnaldi from UAE ADQ. And actually, Van Vleuten would have been third out of everyone in terms of hours in the saddle. So just behind Lachlan and Richie Porte.
That's impressive, that.
Yeah.
And then the women's average total weekly was 14 hours a week and just under 400 kilometres, which is pretty impressive. But remember, hours in the saddle don't make you go faster. But when you are at the very top level, trying to eke out every single percent, time in the saddle is necessary.
Yeah, it's like the last thing you need to do in terms of training, isn't it? It's just then spend, you just have to spend an extra 10 hours on the bike to get an extra, fraction. But it does make a difference at the end of the day, doesn't it? Right, back to Lachlan Morton, briefly. His team, EF Education First, have got themselves a new co-sponsor. So out go Nippo. Well, they don't go out, actually, they just get relegated. And in comes EasyPost. So please welcome, for 2022, EF Education First, EasyPost.
Short and precise. Great for commentators.
Absolutely. Dan is actually at home as we speak practicing that name in time for the road season, which, would you believe, starts this week.
Yes, road cycling is back on GCN Plus, and we're kicking off with the Aussie National Championship, so make sure to check that out.
That's right, so that's on the Race TV part of the GCN app, so do check it out. It's kind of like the polar opposite of the cyclocross that we have been loving over the past few weeks, but which is about to reach the season climax. So the World Championships, which are in Fayetteville in Arkansas, are taking place on the 29th and the 30th of January, so the end of this month. We are broadcasting in loads of territories, including the USA, so please put a note in your calendars because it is going to be huge.
It's now time for Hack-forward-slash-Bodge.
Oh yes, starting with, well, Manon, do you want to kick things off?
Yeah, the first one is KJ Cerns. Forgot to bring the adapter to hitch the dog to the trailer to the tandem. Too far to go back and too cold to leave her in the car, so found a large shopping bag, put some cardboard in the bottom for a secure base, and a thin cushion for a makeshift doggy backpack.
A doggy backpack?
I mean, it took me a while to realise it was a dog in the picture.
And then a human in front.
Yeah, loving life. I'd love to be that dog, get the best of both worlds, get to be on a bike ride but don't actually have to pedal.
That sounds a bit like cars, Manon. It's kind of a bit like being on a
You
bike
don't have the
ride.
wind in your hair in the cars, do you?
Convertible? Anyway, no, it's not, is it? No, there is an inescapable truth that bike rides are great, but sometimes you might not want to pedal. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I like that very much. That's a hack from me. Definitely a hack.
Definitely a hack from me too.
And 75% of you lot thought that was a hack too. So we're off to a good start. Ben and Lara said, I've repurposed an emergency boost system. Aero and lightweight, cable actuated at present, but Alex said I can electrically fire it from my sprint blips and remain UCI legal. Nice, couple of party poppers attached to your seat stays there. Manon, are you feeling in party mood? Is that a hack or a bodge?
I'm gonna go bodge.
It is a bit of a bodge,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, like
And what
comedy
happened-
bands.
Where did you gonna go pick the blower things up?
The what, sorry?
You know what comes out the party blowers?
Party blowers?
Party poppers.
Oh, you're right. Yes, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, they're like streamers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they could get caught in your cassette and you'd derail
Yeah.
it, couldn't they? So
At
be
least
warned.
if they did get caught, you'd get them home and then you could put them in the bin. But if they just fell on the road.
That's true, yeah. I had a teammate once who dropped his gilet into his back wheel and it snapped his chainstays.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he crashed then, but...
Well, I mean, he would have done, but he held it up. But yeah, he wrote his bike off. So
Really?
be careful about dropping stuff in your back wheel. Kind of
Especially
goes without
gilets.
saying, doesn't it? Right, anyway, next up.
Next one from Tanser. Setting up a power pole in the middle of the road.
What? That is... I can't even... Like, I'm
That's-
zooming in. I can't quite understand. Someone has sort of... I mean, that clearly...
Duct taped it
Yeah, bodged a pole onto another pole.
in the middle of the road.
But yeah, that's
That is a
100%.
recipe for disaster.
What a bodge.
Definitely a bodge from me.
Although 34% of you lot thought that was a hack. I don't
Why?
understand. I don't know.
Why?
Anyway, there we go.
Yep, next one in from Dave. My other half suffers from Raynaud's syndrome, which can lead to very cold feet in the winter. Rather than spending the gin budget on expensive overshoes, she decided to make her own bespoke solution. Windproof, composite materials, shopping bags, and gaffer tape.
Well, I mean, at least there's no zip ties on these overshoes.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I mean, it's...
That's a lot of every time to go on a ride to...
Yeah, time, waste.
I remember when I was training in the rain, I put a plastic bag on my foot and then my cycling shoe to stop my foot getting wet. Feet,
From the outside in. I bet they were
Yeah.
pretty minging by the end of the ride, weren't they?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean... Well, it's a bodge, isn't it, basically?
not for me.
No, 84% of you lot thought that was a massive bodge as well. But I applaud, saving money.
If it keeps your feet warm.
Yeah. Well, that is true, actually. First and foremost, if it works, then happy days. Okay, then we've got this last one, actually. So I don't know whether you've seen the bike versus crap moped video from the weekend. If you haven't, I suggest you watch it. But we had a message in on Twitter from Irv. a message from Irv on Twitter, who said that he resto-modded, actually, which is a new word on me, a Wisp as a lockdown project. We've got a before and after photo, and I had to give it a shout out because that rally Wisp looks amazing now, doesn't it?
That's maybe this is a project for the tech team.
Maybe.
To take that moped and
that could be like that could be a Derny.
It could.
For really slow bike rides.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us when I asked whether it could now go more than 25k an hour, but
it looks like it can now.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we're on the hunt for a slightly less crap moped, by the way, because it
was just too easy last time for you, wasn't it?
It was. Dan's been moaning non-stop about the fact that he got beaten, and he's buying a new moped, basically. But there we go. Right, well, yeah, that's a hack to finish off with, surely. Please keep your hacks and bodges coming in. We love looking at them. Upload them to the GCN app. You can go through next week's already and vote on them, and just enjoy all the others up there. It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle. All you got to do is put a witty caption pertaining to a photo that we're about to show you in the comment section down below. We'll start though with the results from last week. Manon?
A few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago, good point. I kind of forgot.
And the winner from this picture was Damien Mitchell. I can't see myself winning this race.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yes!
That is a good one.
That is good.
Well deserved.
That is very well deserved, actually. Get in touch, GCN Elite bottle winging its way to you. This week's photo is from, I think that was a World Cyclocross Cup from a couple of weeks ago in the Netherlands. A particularly brutal section, of course, as you can tell. Manon, no pressure, but do you want to get the viewers started?
Ooh, I'm not going to lie, these are very turf conditions.
Turf conditions. I love it. Have yourself a bottle, Manon.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys can't beat that, clearly. But if you want to try, we'll give away another GCN Elite bottle. So yeah, get your captions in the comment section down below. We'll pick a winner. Turf conditions.
Make them good.
Yeah, that's good. That is actually really good.
Before we go on to what's coming up on the channel this week, let's take a look at some of the awesome comments you guys have been leaving under the videos. So on We Teach GMBM Madison, we've got Phil Cooper. This seems very dangerous. Someone could easily get dropped. Good thing Ollie stayed out of it.
Hey,
quite like that one. Then one from Maud. I need part 2. This vid was fun. There's quite a lot of people asking for a part 2 to this video, so let us know what you'd like us to teach the GMBN guys on the track next. And then another one from Lisa. I'd like to see Manon do a video with GMBN where she learns to do jumps and drop-offs. We have actually just done a video with GMBN. Me and Connor went to spend a day with Rich, and we did learn to do some little drops and berms and sending it.
It got pretty rad,
it got rad. You know, yes. I was watching the video and I didn't actually realise how bad I looked on a mountain bike. But I think that was just compared to Rich.
There is something awful about mountain biking in that when you kind of can convince yourself that you're looking really cool. Oh, this is like sick,
I'm going so fast.
Yeah, and then you see yourself and you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's not quite how I thought the video was going to turn out, but it was still a good watch.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. And then under the bike versus crap moped video, crikey, what's that? UMG SSDA. So good to see Dan back in the saddle and being absolutely hilarious. Two of the things that Dan does best, actually, riding bikes and also being absolutely hilarious. Finally, one that works. The real question is, how many Dans on mopeds does it take to beat me on a time trial bike? You need a big peloton, of those wisps. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to try and get Dan a better moped, and then the race is on. And then Phil Spence Layer. I remember the Wisp from when I was a kid. Pretty impressive, really. A bit of TLC on the engine and tyres. Then a rematch is called for. That petrol tank looked to be about 2 pints. There wasn't much in it as well either, Phil. But he did make it round. Remarkably efficient bit of kit, that. I'm not sure. Is it ever going to go like 30-something K now? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, Phil. Yeah, maybe a bit of TLC. Our resident mechanic was playing with it this morning, actually. I think he quite fancies it. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, and then lastly, underneath Hank racing bikes with Huskies, which is an awesome video, you've got to check out. Stephanie K said, 3 of my favourite things in one video. 1, Hank 2 cycling and 3 dogs. So there you go. I think a lot of people feeling the same there. Yeah, we often think that Hank is like a Labrador, don't we?
Yeah, we do actually. No,
Yeah.
I reckon he's a terrier. He just goes back for more.
Well, that's
Like
a good
all the
point,
challenges,
actually.
he's just...
Yeah, not quite as yappy as a terrier, though, is he?
I'm not sure.
Like a bit friendlier. He's always wagging his
Yeah.
tail.
Anyway, let's move on to what's coming up on the channel this week. So on Wednesday, we've got how to ride in icy conditions. Then on Thursday, we've got establishing your FTP. And then the day after that, which is Friday,
Yep.
I believe, yes, we've got the 2022 road preview season.
Oh, yeah, that's over on GCN Racing. More videos here on GCN as well. On Saturday, we talked about Fayetteville World Championships. Well, Hank was out there a month or so ago, taking a look around and basically piecing together the ultimate day, riding bikes, hanging out. It should be pretty cool. So his perfect day in Fayetteville. And then on Sunday, we've got a bit of a series on our hands here. Can Ollie get over 1,000 watts for a sprint? So yeah, watch this space. And
What do you
we'll
reckon,
see.
Si?
Well, I mean, he's been in some rum form, hasn't he, of late? So the question is, has his climbing form meant that his sprint power has taken a dive?
Yeah, he did say he was hitting the gym recently.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I mean, you can see that, can't you? He's definitely been hitting the gym, absolutely. Yes, there we go. Right, and then as well, we mentioned the Aussie National Champs. So GCN Racing is full of amazing cyclocross at the moment, but also we've got the Aussie Nationals if you fancy a bit of warm weather road cycling. And then we've got an absolute cracker of a GCN Plus film launching this week as well. Race Like a Belgian, where we followed super charismatic Californian Eamon Lucas in his pursuit for a pro contract, hitting up the Belgian kermesse scene. So that is one to watch. Definitely do not miss it. And then I guess that's it, isn't it, Manon?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
We have indeed. We will be back, as always, next week. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up.